A shade of orange paint is made with 5 parts red paint and 15 parts yellow paint. What percent of the paint is red? What is simplified ratio of yellow to red paint? So let's go over back in the original problem. So we know that a shade of orange paint is made. So that means, and then let's take a look. 5 parts of red, so this is very important. And then 15 parts of yellow. So together, when they say and, they're mixing to make that orange. And then in the question, it says what percent. So it's very important. We're not looking for gallons right now. We're saying percent. So what percent of paint is red? And then the second question is, what is the simplified ratio? And then they're asking yellow to red. When they use the word to, is when they have the word ratio. So we need to use yellow first and then a red second. So the order matters in the question as well. So what I would like to do is visualize this information by drawing the number line that represents part to whole ratio. So in this case, the orange paint will be the total. So it's going to represent 100%, and it's made out of parts. So part and another part. Percent. So this will be percent and this will be percent. So let's actually, so how many parts are we going to divide? So here this says 5 and there's 15. So we have to divide in 20 total parts. So a good idea is to pause the video and let's use the square paper. So can we get 20 pieces? So as I'm drawing the number line, I'm going to color code it. So 5 parts are red. So if I start from here, this is 1 part, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that represents red in terms of parts. And then this says 15 parts yellow. So go ahead and pause the video and draw 15 parts together of yellow. Now let's identify the percent number line. So in the beginning, this is 0%. And at the end, that's 100%. So our total parts, we have red are 5 and then yellow are 15. So the total parts are, hopefully you're saying 20. So 20 parts, and that's yellow. So our number line is divided into 20 total parts to represent 100%. So let's write that down. So we have 20 parts make one whole. And one whole, or it's called 100%. So our question is, well, how much of percent is red? So we know it's 5 parts, but in order to find 5, I want to really find 1 part first. So what percent is that 1 part? And because they're all equal, we'll be able to find all of them. So in this case, what would the math let us do? So we have 100 divided by 20 will give us that 1 part as a percent. So technically we're dividing the percent into the 20 parts. So 100% divided by 20 parts will give us each part. So go ahead and pause the video to divide. So each part is as percent. So what did you guys find? So you should have found 5, and that is percent. So right now let's go back to our picture. So each 1 part represents 5%. If you're not sure, go ahead and count by 5 and you should get all the way to 100. So to double check. Now go ahead and answer the question. What percent of the paint is red? So count by 5 and identify. So for letter A, go ahead and write a full statement. So pause the video. Okay, let's take a look at letter B. They want the ratio of yellow to red. I'm using Y and R. So we need to write it in that order, and not only that, later you want to simplify it. So instead of the 2, I'm going to use a fraction bar so I can simplify. Remember, you could use a colon, the word 2, or a fraction bar. So how many parts are yellow? So we have 15 yellow. And then compare it to 5 red. So that is the ratio. However, your job is to simplify, so go ahead and divide by a number both that they go into and finish the problem.